Alright everyone, this is the AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile 5G home internet boxes, but that does not work for everyone for lots of reasons. One is they require you to be stationary at a single service address. You're not allowed to move per the terms of service to anywhere else, which means for RVers, over-the-road truckers and whatnot, then you are breaking the rules, and perhaps they even will shut you down if you abuse that. Now the other thing is, if you're traveling around, you might also not always be consistently with just one of the carriers. You might be in a poor location for T-Mobile, but a great location for Verizon, or vice versa. So this here is the most capable and versatile outdoor unit I have seen. This does both 5G cellular internet, or it pick up 4G as well. And then it also has Wi-Fi that it sends off from here. So this is a crazy device that is powered by Ethernet cable. And then it is also able to switch between all the carriers on the fly. So it can switch between AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. You get unlimited data for this all across the U.S. And it's a service called Connecten. And I will put links down in the video description. You'll get a coupon for like $35 off if you sign up for it with my referral code. And let's just go through a little bit of how well does this perform and why you might want to get it. Now, as always, I could use your support, so hit that like button on the video just down below, and also consider subscribing to my channel on YouTube if you enjoy it. So this is Connecten's Fortress Outdoor unit, and this one is really geared towards the folks that need a service that is mobile but also unlimited. So all the nomads out there. And then this one is their top of the line service. So this one has their strongest capability for 5G. It obviously allows them to be outdoors. They also have an indoor unit. They have an indoor 4G unit as well that you can get. And they have a couple different plans. I will run through all the plan stuff a little bit later in the video. But for right now, let's go into what I've done here. Here in my house, I have lots of different 5G home internet solutions. And I have, as you can see, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile. So I wanted to test this out. Now, what's really cool about this Connecten service is that you can get a hold of a person literally instantly. I've done it at midnight. I've done it in the middle of the afternoon. And it literally within 30 seconds, I'm chatting live with a human that's actually helpful. Mostly what I've reached out for is to change from one carrier to another carrier. So when you boot this up, it's going to pick the best signal that's out there. And if it drops off or gets weak, it will automatically switch over as well. But you can also just chat with them and say, hey, I want to switch over to a different carrier to see how it is. So for me here, I started up. It was on Verizon here. I put this unit out in my attic, so not quite all the way outdoors. Outdoors is best, but I have a lot of setup in my attic. So when it connected, it hopped onto my Verizon 5G signal, which is a reasonable signal, but I know my speeds are not always the best on that. And on this one, it was getting about 30 megabits per second down and 30 megabits per second up. So very usable speeds, and I do like that upload speed. But then I messaged them and converted over to T-Mobile. And with T-Mobile, I was getting something like 280 megabits per second down. I forget what it was for up, like 16 or so megabits per second up. So I lost some upload, but I gained a lot of download just by switching the carrier. And that's what's really cool about this is wherever you go, I can go and switch it to whatever works best for you. So let me go into a little bit of the details of what this Connecten service does, show you their website and some of their plan offerings. Alright, so of note for this unit, it is really mainly designed to attach to a pole mount. So it comes with this L bracket with these little U-bolts to attach to a mount. And then it also comes with the PoE injector. So the bottom of the unit has an Ethernet port, and that Ethernet port is where all of the data and the power for unit comes from. So in the box you get this power adapter. Looks like it's about 5 or 6 foot power cord. And then this is a PoE injector. So this is able to add power to this Ethernet cord, and that's what goes to your device there. Now on this one's going to actually go to my own personal Wi-Fi router. If you have one inside you want to connect to it, or of course this one has Wi-Fi on it, so you can connect to that. But this is all that it comes in the box. So you will need a few things here, and that's what I will show you. One of them is a longer cable to get from, because this one that comes with is like a 4 or 5 foot cable. You'll need something longer to go outside. Even if you're like in an RV, you want to get it outside further from this PoE injector. So you can use any high quality Cat cable, Cat 5e. I think 6A is technically the PoE standard that you could go for, or higher than that. So I'll put a link in the video description if you want to get a longer cable to power that up. And then to help with that install, I'm actually going to show you, this is a cool device that I found from Waveform, and it is they call it a window entry cable, but this is Ethernet on both ends, and this one is weather tight. So this allows you to get Ethernet cable from inside to outside, and you can sneak it through a window or a door sill, any little small thin area that you have. So if you want a way to sneak the cable out from inside to outside, this is a good idea, and I'll put a link to that down in the video description below. And then lastly, you might want to pick up a J-mount if you don't have something to attach that L bracket for the Fortress unit onto. You can get something like this, which is a J-mount, and this is something you can mount on a wall, and then you can pivot this up and down to help it with aiming. So this, I'll put a link as well down below. But let's go into what Connected services offer, what their plans are, and a little more details there. Now, most of my content is around the big three carriers. We have T-Mobile here, we have Verizon, I have AT&T. So this is Connecten, and they offer a nationwide, in fact, I think it goes in Canada and other places as well, but unlimited, both 4G and 5G plans. I'm going to talk about them. They obviously are a little bit more expensive than the straight up ISP for a stationary setup, but it has some really cool features. That's what I want to show you now. This is their indoor unit. This is their indoor 5G unit. I also have their outdoor Fortress 5G unit. This thing is an absolute beast here. And so we'll get into a little bit more details of that. But first, I want to show you what their plans are and why you might want to sign up for it. What are the pros and cons versus one of these other plans that are out there. Now, Connecten did send me these devices for my testing here, but they're not paying me any money directly for them. And in fact, I get a discount code for you guys that you can save 35 bucks off if you sign up through my referral link. Check out the video description down below to get that link. Okay, so I'm just on their website, connecteninternet.com, and you can see here on their main page, they say get internet that works anywhere for any lifestyle, and this is 95% of the US and Canada is covered with their service here. But what I really like about them is the ability to switch carriers on the fly. So you can switch between AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, and by default the router automatically picks the best one for you. But I've been really impressed with the ability to change that. So I reached out to the service on their website right here, actually in the bottom right, the chat with us. I reached out to them just as a regular customer and said, hey, I'm on Verizon right now. I would love to switch it to T-Mobile because I think T-Mobile gets faster speed here at my house. And literally within 2 minutes of chatting, I got a human right away, and I was able to switch to T-Mobile, and my speeds went way faster. So that's what's really cool about this service, and that's what I would say is the big differentiator, is the ability to switch the carriers, and the other one is the ability to roam anywhere in the U.S. Without worry about, are you allowed to travel with it or whatnot. All right, so on their homepage, I like their frequently asked questions the best to give a little summary, because this is also a lot of the questions I've had when I first looked into it. And the one thing is that there are no long-term contracts. It is a monthly setup. Now you are renting the routers from them, so you're paying for it up front. Honestly, that makes sense from their standpoint. I know T-Mobile and Verizon just give out tons of these gateways and replace them all the time. They are not doing that. They're making you pay for it up front, and then you have to return it when you cancel the service. But their lowest cost plan here is $69 a month, but that's not an unlimited plan. It's a 4G plan with 100 gigabytes of data per month. And so that is a good option if you're not using it a lot, for sure. The Journey plan bumps you up to 350 gigs of data a month. And then once you go to the Adventure plan at $99 a month, that's unlimited data, but that one is not priority access. So if you're in an area with congestion, you're going to slow down more than other ones. So if you want a priority data access plan, all unlimited, then the Wanderlust plan is what you want for $120 a month. And if I compare that to something like the T-Mobile Away plan at $160 a month, this one is certainly a better value. And remember that this would allow you to switch between different carriers. So if you're in an area that T-Mobile does not get good signal, you can switch to AT&T or Verizon on the spot. So it's really great service from that standpoint. All right, so here on the product page, now this is where you pick two things. One is your plan, and the other one is your device. So the monthly plan obviously is tied to what type of data you're getting. Are you getting unlimited data? Are you getting 5G data? So I picked their top tier one. That's $120 a month, and so that's going to be the set price every month. But then the device you pick is going to determine your rental fee, if you want to call it that, where you do have to pay upfront for it. So if I pick the 5G Cat 20, that's this device here. You can see here you get 4 LAN ports, a WAN port, a USB port. I'm not sure if the USB port really you can utilize that or not. And then you have the power ports. All your ports are on the front, as well as your LED lights for the status. And then you can see here it's got lots of antennas. It's got 8 antennas. And now I think 6 of these are actually for the 4G, 5G, and then 2 of them are for the Wi-Fi connectivity. So this provides you Wi-Fi. So you could get away with just this one device, and that would allow your devices to connect to this either through LAN or through Wi-Fi. If you go to the Fortress Outdoor Router, that's this big guy. And so this one also has 8 antennas, and you have both 4G, 5G, as well as Wi-Fi antennas. But coming out of it is a single Ethernet port, and I give you a Ethernet cable and PoE injector, so power over Ethernet injector. But you would want to plug this into perhaps another switch or router if you wanted to have lots of LAN ports. If you want to connect to Wi-Fi, you could connect directly to this Wi-Fi one, but obviously you want to be within range of this device. So this is a obviously very robust outdoor unit, and there's different use cases for this one than that one here. So you'll have to decide which one you want for your setup. All right, so if I add their top tier 5G priority data plan, the Wanderlust plan, that's the $120 a month every 30 days. There's a $99 activation fee. Again, I think with my coupon code you get $35 off of that fee, and then you have the device rental fee, which is a one-time $199 to cover it. And again, you do have to send this device back when you cancel their service. So that's what you would get from a pricing standpoint to sign up for this from the get-go. Okay, as far as speeds, I did do some quick testing with this indoor unit on their Wanderlust plan, so that's their 5G top plan. And if I compared it to Verizon when it was on Verizon, it got about 35 megabits per second down with the Connecten, but I was getting like 35 to 46 megabits per second upload, and that compares to my Verizon Home G 5G home plan, where I'll get a couple hundred, like 200, 250 megabits per second down with where this was at, but I'd be capped out at 20 megabits per second upload at top. So on this case with my setup, this was significantly slower for download on Verizon in the same spot, but it was actually like twice as fast for the upload. So that's kind of interesting with how that worked. I didn't dive all into which bands I was connected to or whatnot there. But I contacted them and I said, hey, can we switch it to T-Mobile? And when we switched to T-Mobile, I was getting about 212, 240 megabits per second down on the Connecten device, and then I was something like I think 7 or 8 megabits per second upload for T-Mobile. When I used the G4AR T-Mobile White gateway with the stock internal antennas, not using any external antennas, then I was getting about 350 down, and I was getting about I think 12 up. So the T-Mobile was a little bit faster on the 5G T-Mobile plan and unit that I have there than this one, but this was pretty good. I mean, honestly, 220 is plenty of speed for what I need. And then I went to AT&T to test out. Now I also have the AT&T 5G egg gateway that they provide, and for the AT&T egg, I was getting about 60 megabits per second down at that time and 12 up. When I used AT&T on the Connecten device, I was getting about 50 down and 9 up. So very similar on AT&T performance. I was a little bit slower on T-Mobile with this one, and then Verizon was my biggest difference, where I was a quarter of the speed on download on the Connecten plan versus the actual Verizon plan, but my upload speeds were actually faster. So all that testing, it was really cool to be able to be in the same spot and test all these at the exact same time. I know that those speeds are kind of going to fluctuate and vary, and that's what I think is really cool about the Connecten plan, is that literally if one of my services is being slow some days, which it happens every once in a while, I'll get T-Mobile just slow down to a crawl for some reason. With this one, literally a couple of minutes, I can contact their service on chat and flip it to another carrier and keep chugging away. So I think this does offer actually some enticing features. You're paying more than a big carrier 5G home plan, but you're freed up from location, you're freed up from a specific carrier, and so I think this is something you should look into if you need that flexibility. So if you have any questions or you want me to do specific testing, certainly put a comment down below. I do read those comments. I do try to respond to them. And then, of course, I'm going to test this guy outdoors right now. It's actually sleeting and snow, so I don't feel very excited to go climb outside and hook this up. Now, if you made it to the end of the video and you still haven't hit that like button, please consider hitting that right down below on YouTube, and then also consider subscribing to my channel so you get more content like this. Thank you.